because I saw like it maybe on day 5, and I was like,
wait, you were watching that interview every day?
did you see the OG or like the
what
first? Like Vlad TV essentially did a 6ix9ine interview. You see?
I've seen the clips.
Yeah, so like every day he would drop like one clip.
Right.
And I saw it at like point. I like first see it at like clip 5. Maybe it was like the robbery scene or some shit, and then I'm like, because I've also watched the true story of Daniel Hernandez Hulu documentary, which is awesome.
He has a Hulu documentary,
bro. It's my favorite like music documentary. It's like that's when I knew 6ix9ine was like a legend. Like I would never let people tell me he wasn't, right?
What was there to document about? There's no way 6ix9ine is
bro. It's amazing, bro.
Really?
Yes. Like
might have to tap.
And this one is different than the Vlad because it like some of the stuff was contradicted, but most of it was true. Like that's where you see like Danny, and that's when you first hear about like him getting robbed. Him getting.
So this is him opening up, kind of.
Well, no, he wasn't in the Hulu one.
He wasn't.
It was just like the people around him. So he was kind of like he never got to defend himself a little bit.
Okay, so the Vlad interview was really the first interview where he was like...
He got to talk on the things in the Hulu one.
Okay, shit.
And dude, it was so dope because I've watched that documentary like maybe 2 or 3 times because it's just inspiring because he's like, that's when I first knew he would like wear all these clothing that would say like, come 6ix9ine or like AIDS, like I got AIDS, and just make people laugh. And they're like, Danny, and they were first interviewed like his girlfriend and like his baby mama. And dude, that was also when I heard about the gummo, where Danny just went to the store, the bodega, and bought all the red bandanas were on for sale. They bought like 20 of them and then handed them out to everybody. And they only had one pistol. And like, they like, and it was like, dude, the next thing you know, this video, like they had weed and shit, but they didn't have like they didn't have many guns, and like they had no bandanas. And then he gives them to the whole block.
So you're trying to tell me there were like fake, like 200 fake bloods
in the gummo video? Yes. And bro, and then after that, the gummo people, there was like maybe a few real bloods, because like the person whose house it was, Danny took like the gummo song. He's like, dude, this song is trash, but my videos are sick. That's literally how he pitched himself. He's like, my music sucks, but my videos slap. This is gonna be viral. Like, okay. And then Gummo was actually a dope song, right? And it was like blew the fuck up. And then you see like after that, the chaos ensues where real bloods come in, right? Like, because he's going viral, right? And it was just an incredible story, man, of like a guy, like because he was like he was poor as shit, and like he was walking to the store like a week before the Gummo thing, like, damn, I'm broke, I don't even have money for diapers, and then he was like, I was praying to God, like, change my life, and then Gummo,
crazy,
yeah, and he edited the whole fucking video himself.
Yeah, I've heard about that though, yeah. So
you're just like. That's when I was like, dude, this guy is as real. Because if you've been in the come up like you have, or you probably, this shit.
Like once you start up, like,
yeah, it ain't pretty, bro. It's like it's not a pretty come up for anybody. Like,
oh, never.
Like my come up wasn't pretty. It was like trudging through the slums, right? And then after you kind of had the breakthrough, you can make it a little prettier. But like. The early days, you're just like struggling to try and get it off the ground. And then, dude, it was a dope documentary. Highly recommend. And that's why I'm like, dude, I was like, he's a legend, Right. And even to this day, that's why he's still around. Kind of like a young Lean. He doesn't have the biggest numbers of all time, but everybody knows that dude was legit.
That is true.
Yeah.
The fact that he stayed relevant for all of it, and everyone was like kind of writing him off in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this rainbow-haired, like,
dude.
Oh, he's gay as hell.
Yeah.
Like, with all these 6ix9ine tattoos. And everyone was writing him off, but the fact, it's 2025.
Exactly.
And a lot of his peers, I'd say, that were blowing up in that era, say Trippie Red. Okay, he's been fucking on Trippie Red. He's been dogging Trippie Red.
But dude, those guys are
I gotta dog him in a little bit more. Yeah. Trippie, I mean, sadly, he wasn't able to keep up with today's demand when it comes to, let's say, I wouldn't say clout chasing, but
More so like reinvention.
Like finding a way to remain in conversations.
For sure.
And the way like Drake has. Mm-hmm. A lot of people credit Drake as the greatest rapper, quote unquote, or like performer of all time. Yeah. Just because of his ability to stay, what's it called? Relevant. Yeah. For such a long period of time. For sure. Drake's been relevant since before I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. People have been praising Drake since before. God, I don't want to go into details.
But for real, dude, he was like one of my all-time favorites, you know?
Him and Kanye.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
I know Kanye's a bit controversial.
I love Kanye, bro.
You love Kanye? What do you think of the Kanye documentary?
From what'd you say?
What do you think of the Kanye documentary? Since we were talking about
Are you talking about
the one that just recently dropped? It was a guy that was
in my father's or in his name or something.
It was a guy I want to watch filming him since the beginning of Kanye's career.
That one I watched, like the 3-part one. Yeah. Amazing, bro. Amazing. Yeah. I fucking love Ye, and like no one's gonna tell me I can't because I'm kind of from Chicago too. Or Milwaukee's like, you know, we get the Chicago rap. That's why I was a Juice WRLD fan before anybody, you know, like
I actually want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
You rep Norway to the max. I mean, you are kind of Norway.
Yeah.
Right? You're I rep
Norway.
Out of everywhere in the world, you are most known in Norway.
Absolutely.
But you're not from Norway.
No.
Tell me about that.
Well, dude, I'm from like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? Where we never had a big rapper our whole lives. We really had nobody. We had like Steve Miller's band and Les Paul, which are like rock legends, but nobody ever rap music wise, right? And then you've got in Chicago, Kanye West. You've got all these like, you know, he was kind of the first rap legend. But I remember, bro, I went on this like date with a Mexican girl that I met at Starbucks. And as like kind of her like flirty thing to do with me, she sent me All Girls Are the Same on SoundCloud when it had like 15K streams. And I remember hearing it and I was like, what is this? You know, this is like different, you know, and I'm like, that's kind of what gets me into like the SoundCloud thing. And you're like, who's this Juice WRLD guy? And then after you're like, who's this Polo G guy? You know? And I was more on those guys than I was like Dirk and maybe Vaughn. But of course I've listened to them since, right? But dude, kind of the Chicago is very melodic because of Ye. Like Ye did all this auto-tune rap, right? He did all this stuff that was like experimental.
808s and heart.
Yeah, you don't have to be just like a Eminem.
And the pink polo, he was wearing the pink polos when everyone else was trying to be the dope boy or the gangbang.
And dude, the reason I always liked Drake more than Kendrick, despite maybe him being, you know, having defeated him in the beef or like, you know, whatever technically rapper you want to say, but Drake do melodies way better. And I was like, because of Kanye, because of Juice WRLD, I was like, because like I was like on these melodies. I loved melodies, and that's why in Ikke Musikk you can hear "Kan du elske meg litt for vises" or "Jeg flyttet til Norge." Yeah.
You do sing a lot.
Yeah,
it's not like really spitting. Like you're not.
It's like a sing rap. It's like kind of like Juice WRLD, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, or like I can rap, of course, the rap parts, but I do have to. I want to have a sing along part, you know. And I grew up on rock music because of the Milwaukee influence. But then you kind of got that, what do they call that? Drill hip hop out of Chicago? Yeah, like drill.
Yeah,
I kind of
Chief Keef kind of started that back in 2012.
Chief was the man, bro. I remember
drill
that.
Is still massive to this.
Dude, I remember Young Chup on the beat, bro.
Wait, were you in Milwaukee when Chief Keef was blowing up?
Yes, I was.
You were. Dude, how was that? How was that?
Dude, it was the most hood thing ever because you not only like Chief Keef. I would say that the song you liked the most was like, "That's that shit I don't like." You would like say that, kind of how kids in Sweden or Norway meme whatever they're talking about now. Like a lot of my lyrics are memeable,
right?
But they memed like, "That's that shit I don't like," you know, like
so
or like,
was like
kids in high school would be like. You'd be like in class and they'd be like, time for a pop quiz. That's that shit I don't like. You know, like, don't like.
I never knew this was I never knew that. I never knew about that.
Yeah, and then it was like, So like you'd like watch Chief Keef's music videos, and also the idea of some dude on home arrest at like 16 or 17 was kind of like out of this world, especially if you're from like Wisconsin. You're like, what the fuck? Like they really got it like that in Chicago. And then you're like, I remember you see like, you also like do this Young Chop guys just cooking out these hard ass beats. You're like, this guy's like these beats that Chief Keef is on are no one really gives him as much credit, but those beats are insane. You know,
to this day, people hop on Glow Beats.
Yeah.
To this day, people rap using Chief Keef inspired beats.
Exactly.
There's a huge debate where people are like trying to like debate who influenced rap as a whole, and it's always in these debates I hear Kanye, I hear Thug, but I always hear Chief Keef.
Yeah.
Because to this day, Chief Keef still so many people over a decade later.
And for sure, man.
Look up to him.
And dude, like the craziest era as well, that was maybe the future wave. Like this is like one thing if you were in America, like when I was in college or like at the first few years of my college, the future wave was like crazy. Cause like here comes this hardest trap music you've ever heard. And like every party is just lit on Future. And like, I remember the first time you
didn't experience this.
Like, dude, the first time you heard Future, you're like, this is garbage. Or like, you know, like you may even think garbage, but
Which
you're like.
year was this?
Dude, I want to say 2014, 2015. And then by 2016, he was already king. But like, I want to say 2013, 2014, 2015, you had heard him. And then like, really by Dirty Sprite 2 and Purple Rain, you were sold. But like when you first heard maybe Tony Montana and these early ones, you were like, this is hard, but I maybe don't get it yet. You know, you would like put it on and like get pumped up, but you didn't really understand the future wave, bro. And then like Future inspired like trapping.
Everybody wanted to be that. Everybody wanted
trapper, bro.
you mentioned Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD has credited his drug usage to Future.
For sure, man.
Juice WRLD has went online, went on air and said, yes, Future got me on lean.
Yeah.
Future made me want to do drugs. Everybody wanted to do drugs. I mean,
I know.
I didn't grow up and you experienced prime Future at college parties.
Prime Future, bro.
Damn.
It was insane.
We, now in 2025, 2024, and now when I go to all of these parties, we might hear, but I never went, like, experienced that right there. That must have been nuts.
And then by the time What a Time to Be Alive dropped, it was over.
Oh, the collab with Drake.
That was when Future was, you know, or like, cause like Drake was like obviously the guy who took it mainstream, or like, and Drake
because he brought the melody.
Yeah,
as you said.
And Drake is top dude, right? But like Future had the edge that made it resonate with the streets, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something you got to have.
100%. And seeing America have all of these, like, when you talk about hip hop, it's always America. It's never Asia. It's never South America. It's never Africa. It's never Europe.
No.
It's always America. I mean, European rappers, who do we have? We've got Central C.
Yeah.
Right? The UK has been making crazy waves.
Yeah.
The underground, they got like Fake Mink, SD Kid,
Yeah.
Fang, all of these guys. And then Central C, who else? Stormzy.
Yep. Stormzy was big.
All of these, like, grime, right?
Yep.
That's what they call it, grime. But I mean, even though these are household names.
Yeah, Young Lean.
Young Lean as well.
This is something crazy for the Swedish Bros. Young Lean, Ghost Town with Travis Scott. We heard this like in the same like era, and this is a song people can go look up. But like Young Lean goes like, Louis duffel bag in the double bag. You know, he has these like, he comes in and his flow is like unbelievable, and he doesn't give a fuck, man. Like, and like Travis Scott is probably like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, like this Young Lean guy just crushed my beat. Or maybe it was the other way around. I forget whose beat it was and whose song, but dude, that's when you realize like this Young Lean guy was onto something He was like also probably the biggest rapper out of Europe for the streets in America. He was probably the dude.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
which is,
when it comes to underground conversations, they always bring up Young Lean Blade.
Yeah.
Always a Young Lean Blade. I've never heard another European rapper in underground conversations aside from Young Lean and Blade. I guess excluding this year's UK rappers with Fake Mink and SD Kid and all of these guys, but it's always been Young Lean and Blade.
UK is new. It's like a new era.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I feel like out of all of the European countries, America only has eyes on, like, let's say UK.
For sure.
Which is a bit sad. I mean, Europe has always been culturally so, like, we had this conversation off camera, like couple minutes ago, where we spoke about, damn, there are no Norwegian rappers.
Dude.
Like, damn, there are no like let's say Swedish international rappers.
Yeah, man.
What happened with that?
Dude, I think it comes down to, in America, there's this degree of respect for the trap. Like, it's hard for an American that's like coming up when you hear like these guys in these gangs or in these like scenes essentially being as hard as a Future, as hard as a Lil Baby, as hard as like a Dirk or like, you know, a 6ix9ine and so because of that, there's a little bit of like, oh, he's good, but I don't know if he's credit like that. I don't know. This is just like how you were as a kid, right? You would hear these names like Tiny Tempa, right? Tiny Tempa, he made it huge, but you're like, Tiny Tempa's dope. Everybody know Tiny Tempa ain't like Future or something. That would be kind of like the conversation. I'm not saying that's like, but that was just kind of the way it was, right? And so America has a little bit of more grunge to it, and really, Americans don't like the polished sound as much as Europeans.
Right.
Europeans love this pop influence on their hip hop where it's like, it's got to be mixed perfect. It's got to be mastered perfect. It's got to be like...
They love quality. Like
very high
quality.
Very studio quality.
Right.
And Americans are more like, give me the Lil Uzi Vert, give me the Yeet, you know... Exactly. You know, like,
they want. Oh my god! Do you know who Netspend is?
Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah.
Netspend came up making music in his mom's house.
In his mom's house.
With like Apple headphone microphones on BandLab, and he was racking hundreds of thousands of streams. He was blowing up off of like nowhere near studio quality. And when his label eventually like swooped in, grabbed him up, put him in a proper studio, he was on Instagram posting on his story, damn, I hate these studios. I hate FL Studio. I want to hop on BandLab.
Yeah, he wants to go back.
And
maybe his hype even was like, you know, maybe he felt something. The hype changed, bro.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I see conversations on Twitter all the time talking about what happened to old Netspend. What happened to Cash Netspend? What happened to the Netspend we used to love? And because they want that
too glowed, man.
Yes, they want that grimy. They want that. That's street cred in America.
It's street cred.
Street cred goes a super long way. And me personally, I would say that I am a bit guilty of doing that. Yeah. I'll take EBK Jabo for an example. EBK Jabo was making these. He's from Cali. He was repping this gang. He was blowing up, and I was like, okay, cool. First thing I do, like, I hear his music. It's hard. What the fuck do I do? First thing I do is I hop on Twitter. Is he really like that?
Is he really a gangster?
Is he really a gangster?
Literally everyone's first Google search.
I'm guilty about it. I did
Is 6ix9ine really Treyway?
I did the same thing with King Von. When King Von was growing up with Crazy Story, I searched it. I went on Reddit. I was like, okay, is he catching bodies?
Bro.
Really? And when I found out that yes, he was putting in work, all of a sudden I was so more intrigued. I was like, he is actually catching bodies.
I think America. This is maybe a take. America loves the lore. Europe loves the quality. America loves the lore.
I'd say so.
They want to hear the story behind the artist. They want to hear that Ned Spend was in his bedroom. Juice WRLD also famously, his mom like hated hip hop music, so he would record on his cell phone. Like his first few tracks were on his phone.
Yeah.
And like people love hearing these like stories of like, 50 Cent, 8 Mile, Eminem, like the underdog.
They want to
root for the underdog big time in America.
They do, right.
Dude, we love the underdogs. And I still love the underdogs, right? Like I kind of don't root for them.
They want to hear the American dream.
Yeah.
They want to hear someone that came from nothing.
They do, man. They do.
Europe, I'd say Europe doesn't give a fuck about that.
Future has this line, I think it's like, sleeping on the floor. He was like sleeping on the floor in a crack house. The Weeknd, like eviction number 4 now. Like in Low Life, he's talking about being homeless and shit, right? And he's from Canada, right? But it's the same thing, right? Nav, if you know Nav from Toronto.
Of course, bro. The first brown boy to get
from
it
the
poppin'.
Rex. Yeah, first brown boy. Brown boy.
The first brown boy to get it poppin'.
Dude, love Nav. But from the Rex, right? Like it's kind of like you gotta tell like your struggle. And that's why a lot of these guys struggle to maintain maybe after they hit that level of success, is because their story changes. Right now they have everything that they never had, and it's like a story they've heard before. Where before it was this story they've never heard before.
Right.
It was like one of a kind. This is a new artist with a story that's completely unique. And truly, man, that's, I think, kind of my like lore to the kids in Norway, is that there's never really been a story like mine. And that's more powerful than maybe higher quality music, right? Or like better raps, better Norwegian even, right? My Norwegian's not very great. And it's like, that is really what people, even in Europe, love as well. Like, you know the EDM artist DJ Snake? He's from France.
No, sorry.
Okay, yeah, he did like "Turned Out for What."
He did that?
Yeah, he did all these bangers.
He did that?
Yeah, DJ Snake. In DJ Snake, I remember he had this Beats commercial back in the day where it was like, he was called DJ Snake because a snake was the guy who would like spray paint on the side of the walls, graffiti in France.
Okay.
And like, Snake, when you heard like his story, there was some like, there was some lore there for a French dude, right? There was like something about this DJ Snake guy that wasn't adding up. Like, who would name himself DJ Snake? Oh wait, he's actually got a story there.
Right.
And then his beats were hard, and then like he kind of totally made it in America because of that. So I think that America has this more of, dude, they just love a good movie. As the kids would say, absolute cinema. It's absolute cinema.
I'd say, honestly, would you say, because you have a lot of fan page accounts made of you.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a predominantly younger audience?
Yes, it is.
It's young people.
Shout out to my youths
that run these accounts.
Yes, it is.
Would you say that they teach you a thing or two about internet? Because you're 29, right?
Yep.
At 29, I don't believe that you're as in the internet as you once was as a teenager.
I'm not.
So would you say that these young kids are actually like, yeah, I'd say teaching you a thing or two?
Dude, for sure. I still believe in staying in the trenches, because as like an artist, you got to be on the ground floor. That comes with like marketing, comes with like knowing what's going down, just like the scene. So you got to be in the trenches. But these kids are like the experts of the trenches. Like they know, they're like almost like the birds in the trenches.
So they're
the
down
birds
below.
in the trap, as Travis Scott would say, right? Like they're the ones who are like speaking the truths that you're then finding out about, right? Like they're figuring out what's hot, what's viral. A lot of times on my lives, they'll be like, yo, Ikke Musikk, have you heard about this? Like, what's your thoughts on this? And I've never even heard of it, bro. I look it up after. I'm like, this is something that's new to the kids, right? And then they keep me informed. They keep me like up to date on what's cool because they really know what's cool. I don't know what's cool like they do. They know what's cool. And you can maybe, I'll flip this to you, man. Like when I was youthful, didn't matter what artist it was, I never looked at the views, streams, anything. I never cared, bro. I only cared if they made bangers or like good music. And like you get older, you're like, oh, what's the most popular in the charts? You know, like what's
you do.
You know, like what's got the most streams? Bruno Mars? You know, like ain't nobody give a shit, bro. Like you want the stuff that's hot in the like to the kids, man. You know, the kids know what's cool, and that's why even though Yeat was getting a lot of hate a few years ago, I knew he was up next.
Right.
He was cool to the kids, right? It's like he was what they saw as something fresh for their wave that had never been done before. And I think that shout out to a lot of like the Swedish underground, shout out to a lot of the Danish, you know, is like the kids are really the ones putting these guys on. They're the ones putting me on. Shout out to the youths because it's like, bro, without them, you can't beat them at the top. You're never going to get the fans that are like, in a way, I'm kind of happy. Like my fan base is getting like it mixes, but really I'm happy that my fan base is youthful.
Right.
I'm really like happy about that. I'm happy. Dude, I went trick-or-treating the other day. Not like actually trick-or-treating myself, but I got a call from this woman in my neighborhood saying, hey, you should like pop out on because a lot of your fans are here and it's the 10th year anniversary of the neighborhood trick-or-treating thing.
Okay.
So I took like 10 things of merch, like 10 or like a few bags of candy, and bro, the kids that are like 12 years old, 10 years old are like singing my lyrics to me.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I'm
so
saying?
nice though.
And yeah, and dude, it tells me something is that like these kids don't understand streams, they don't understand anything about what the world works with music.
Right.
What they only understand is what is cool to them, catchy to them, and peer to them, right? They just gravitate towards it. It's like they feel it. They don't see it, they feel it. Like they're not looking at the details, thinking about the details. They're just like, I feel this song's banger, you know?
Right.
And this one's not banger, you know?
That's how they act.
That's how they act.
That is how they act. Didn't you have this one conversation, or not a conversation, but didn't you have this meeting with a couple, maybe it was a couple or might not, but it was with a label of some sorts.
Yeah.
And you were conversating, they were talking, and they were asking, wait, who is this person behind this fan page? Who is this person that is making content about you? Like,
yeah.
We were like, oh my God, they're so spot on. They're like, and I think you told me that they've been trying to replicate themselves for their artists as well, but they just couldn't like really hit that.
They do.
So
man.
I feel like having a youthful audience, especially like let's say, and a lot of people make underground music, a lot of people make mainstream music and so forth, but with underground music especially, I feel like the younger generation really cares about it the most.
For sure, man.
100%. Pop music and rock and all of these other genres as a predominantly older generation that kind of follows it with. And I think making rap music as you are, and being underground as you are, and being in the internet as you are, it benefits having a youthful
dude, absolutely. Like the kids are into streaming these days, right? Streaming is the new wave. And shout out all the kids because they are the best clippers. My fans who are youthful, they actually clip the good parts. Like in the song that for me that like blew up, I never thought that part would blow up, right? But it was that it kind of had these funny parts that the kids just loved clipping. And then same with, they know what part actually is cool, what is like this is the clip. And if your manager's running your fan page, with a lot of these signed artists that they have managers running fan pages, you know, adults running fan pages, they think too much. They're like, what looks good?
They overthink
the best in the brand. What looks best for this song release? What are we trying to like convey to the crowd?
Right.
It's like, there was this thing, I said like Soman Fisk, but instead of Soman Fisk, I said Soman Fisk.
Yeah.
And the kids were like, Soman Fisk.
Yeah,
Soman
they do that. They
Feast.
do
And
that. They love that.
to oblivion, you know? And then, you know, like no manager's going to think, let's rep that, you know? Like, that's a good idea. It's not, but it's just what the kids want, you know?
That is true.
Yeah, it's just
that
like,
is true. It's always they're
the best
dumbest
Clippers.
shit. I'm sorry. Shout out the young community.
Yeah.
Shit. Honestly, when I was their age, I was like,
it's the coolest stuff.
We're like the same. I'm 23. We're like the same age, right? When we were 16, 15, we were the deep fried memes.
Yeah, exactly.
The bass boosted, the ear. We were watching.
I remember the bass boosted, bro.
You do?
Yeah.
It was the stupidest shit ever.
Dude, my fans still bass boost my tracks after I drop them. Bro, like that teaches me something too, because a lot of artists would say maybe they feel the same way. You get better at mixing, better at what you think is cool music, and then you put it out and the kids are like, bro, where's the 808? or like, why isn't this like destroying my speakers like your other song?
Right.
And you're like, wait, I need to boost my bass. I need to like pump the levels right beyond what people are comfortable with, because the kids, when they get into the car, they're throwing that speaker up all the way to the
Facts.
top. And we're more like, oh, let's put on some Hans Zimmer. Let's put on something nice now that we're older. Let's put on something soothing. And the kids are like, nah, let me put on the biggest banger I can show you. And that was something my brother, I want to shout out him for, he told me, he said, everyone wants to share the biggest banger because to the kids, it's street cred. If you were in a group of friends like at age 22, 23, or 29, you can show a good song.
Right.
But if you're like 15, 16 in high school, middle school,
You want the nichest shit.
you want the biggest banger they've ever heard.
The
You want
coolest shit ever.
like if you put on some pop or something soft, they're gonna look at you different in school, you know? And like they're gonna be like, they want the thing that like, and that's why rage is the new rage, right? Like that's why Cardi, right, is like still transcending in this like new era of music of like harder beats, because the kids love the hard shit. They always have. They love, like I loved Future that way, and they, you know, and they love their new rage, right?
They do. When you said that nowadays it's streaming is the way to go about music. Did you actually grow up buying physical music?
I did, man. Like because I was a rock fan, so I remember buying CDs all the time.
What
like,
bands were you listening to back then?
dude, I listened to like Bon Jovi, Blink-182, AC/DC, like kind of like, I mean, Iron Maiden, you know, like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, diehard Beatles fan.
Really?
But those are like, you know, retro CDs. You just buy those because you like. But dude, I would like.
I've never listened to Beatles in my life.
Dude, my first 4 or 5 music releases were on fucking hard CDs in high school, mixtape style.
Really?
Dude, there's fans out there in America who still listen to my OG CDs, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, on CDs.
I actually want to ask, wait, how long have you been making music?
So, I've been making music, my own music, since I was 10 years old. And because that's when I wrote my first song that I like performed for others. It was just like my family, and it was like my extended family, cousins at a reunion. I remember I had this like piano where I could like, I grew up as a drummer. I would play drums for my brother. He played the guitar and he would sing, and I would drum. But my thing was that I never wanted to play songs that were like out there. They're like, let's have someone else play, because Alex, he only cares about writing his own songs. Which, like, you know, at the young age, you're writing horrible songs. But I like had a piano, and you could like have 4 layers. You could play the piano, have like a little drum loop going on, and like could loop a couple things. And then I got like an Akai beat mixer in middle school, which had like, you could have 99 tracks, 99 beats on. I think I made like 300 beats because I cleared it 3 times. And that meant there was no way to put it out onto a CD. That was the shitty part about that mixer, was that I would essentially, this was just for fun, I would just rap for my friends over my beats. And I would just make beats live for them, and then I would rap over them. We'd rap like on a mic, because you could hook up a microphone to it and just rap. And then after that, in high school, my dad acquired Pro Tools just like through a trade. Like he got like an old Pro Tools 8. And we didn't even have a MacBook or laptop yet. So I like started mowing lawns and like doing yard work around the neighborhood to like save up for like a MacBook so I could like learn Pro Tools. And then 9th grade, it was kind of when I first started being able to record on Pro Tools my own songs. And ever since that, I've been recording on Pro Tools. I use Pro Tools for all my beats. I do the whole thing in one project, which people, they're like, what are you from when I go into the studio now and tell them I do it on Pro Tools, they're like, what are you from, like 1970s? They're like all on Logic, Ableton, you know,
yeah, everyone's
FL
got
Studio.
Logic, FL Studio,
yeah,
and no one's got Pro Tools.
No one's on Pro Tools.
That's crazy.
But I'm like a whole Pro Tools guy. I make the beats there. I do the mix there. I do the vocals there. It's like a massive, and I master it there. And then, because it's the one you know. I think that's the thing for the kids.
If it works, it works.
The one you know is the best one. Like, people always ask me that, like, Ikke Musikk, what's the best DAW? Like, the one you know, bro. You know, like, don't stress about that. That's not the, like, no matter what DAW it is, you can find amazing producers or artists. And Pro Tools maybe less, but you know, I've been in rock. I've met rockers who they swear on Pro Tools, right? And I think Pro Tools, for the benefit, is like super powerful. It's the most confusing one, maybe the slowest one, but it's super powerful. You can do like anything. And so I was making my name was Ike Williams when I was in high school. My rap name was Ike Williams, and my nickname was the Weatherman, which originated from a game-winning basketball shot, which I hit at like a 3-pointer at the buzzer. And it went so high, bro, I thought I airballed it. I literally thought I airballed it, and then it swished perfectly, and everyone was like, it dropped like a raindrop. Like, you made it rain, bro. And like, the Weatherman was my nickname.
The Weatherman. That's tough, bro. That's so tough.
And then during football, like soccer games, because I played soccer, the crowd would start chanting the Weatherman, and nobody knew who it was. And my coach was like, who's the Weatherman? I'd be like, that's me.
That's sick. That's sick.
And then, so Ike Williams then became Ikke Musikk. When I was a senior in high school, I became like Ikke Musikk. It was more so like to short down the name from like Ike Williams to Ike. My name is Alex Eichstead. Alex William Eichstead. So it was really like, people called me Ike from like early days, like, yo, what up, Ike? Like, and a lot of my friends, they still call me Ike to this day. So like Ike, and then I just was like, Williams is like a cool last name in America. You have all these basketball players named Williams, right? You have all these Williams, and I was like, yo, my last name will be Williams. But then I was like, I'll just go down to Ike. Everyone's just calling me Ike. Ikke Musikk, right? Like, it's music by Ike. And what I didn't understand then was that, you know, maybe that's a little generic, right? Like, but it did foreshadow the eventual. So I was Ikke Musikk then for 10 years, and you can like search up Ikke Musikk on the internet. You can see it all the way from the beginning. There's like even a Spotify page with like EPs, albums of Ikke Musikk. And then I moved to Norway as Ikke Musikk. I'm in the middle of COVID, and I just kind of think to myself, like, yo, if I'm living in this foreign country, I want to make like an album here so that forever, if I go home and listen to it, I can like transport back to Norway and remember the great times I had in this foreign country, right? So I make this album called Overseas. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. It's going to tell my story overseas, which in America also, it's much different than Europe, where if you had a dude that you knew who was like half foreign, he was like the coolest guy in the school.
Wait, are you actually Norwegian?
No, I'm not.
You're not Norwegian?
I'm not Norwegian. Yeah, Ikke
Wait.
Musikk. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, so I'm not Norwegian at all.
Are you serious?
Swear to God,
you
bro.
look Norwegian.
Thank you, man. That's a great compliment. Norwegians look amazing.
So you're full American.
I'm full American, bro.
Oh shit! Yeah, I could have sworn he's Norwegian. I thought you were Norwegian. I thought you were like half Norwegian in America.
No, 100% American.
That's why Ikke Musikk. You were actually repping about that.
Dude, everyone asked me like, "Are you actually Ikke Musikk?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro.
Oh,
all my bars are facts."
Oh,
can I take off my glasses? Facts, bro. All my bars are facts.
Sick.
Yeah, so yeah, Ikke Musikk and 100% American, and I made this overseas album because it was like, yo, this is cool to my friends back home in America too. You know, if you're the dude who lived overseas, like that's dope. If you're like the German kid in high school, you're like the coolest kid. You're the foreign exchange kid. You're like the coolest kid. But in Norway, it was really hard to be an immigrant at first. It was like the hardest thing I've ever done. And I always think back to myself. I even have this lyric in a song that's unreleased. It's coming out soon, where I say it's like, if I would do it over, I wouldn't recommend it. But I did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Is like, it was so hard to be an immigrant at the start. And I like made this overseas album. I put it out on the internet as Ikke Musikk. My brother's in town, my best friend's in town. We're going out, we're having a great time.
In Norway.
In Norway. And it starts getting all this hate. And at this point, I actually like took it personally.
Wait, where did you upload this? Was this...
I uploaded the album to Spotify and YouTube, but the hate came from TikTok.
So did you upload like a snippet about the album?
Yes, dude. I did like this talk about, you know, each song. You give me a little talk about it, you know, like it was almost like it was something like you're like, let me tell 30 seconds about this song, and then let's play a little clip from this song, and then and this one clip I remember, it went viral on May 17th, which is 17. Mai, the Norwegian Constitution Day, like the most famous day in Norway. If you ever go visit, highly recommend that day. That day, this song I had called Eurostep goes viral. And this is when the Ikke Musikk just gets like, people start calling me Ikke Musikk, like double K instead of Ikke Musikk.
Okay.
Because Eurostep talks about like a Euro step. Like I just hit a Eurostep swish. Like it's talking about like actually stepping countries into Europe and like hitting a swish rather than, it's like a basketball move.
It is, yeah.
But it's also, it was like related to my life, and the bars go like, I just woke up on the sofa, yeah. Like I just might roll one on the sofa. Whoa, need to grow up, yeah. Wait, hold up. I just hit a Euro step swish. Ain't nobody ball like this. No. Because it's still dope to have like a job in Europe as an American, right? And like be living in Europe. So it was like, I'm bumming out, right? But then at the same time, I'm bumming out. It's like, it's kind of playful because it's like, yo, I'm still like this like kid. I need to grow up. But now I'm hitting this Euro step swish. And that kind of triggered people, because even in America, I remember that song triggered our friends where they're like, bro, like, not our, like we had
this snippet get hit in Europe or America?
In Europe. But like when we showed the song to a few people that we trusted, like some older producers in America,
right?
Like my brother said, like in the studio, they reacted like with the same reaction. Like they were like, you know, because it was hot.
They were hating on it?
Yeah, because it was hot. It was like, yo, this is hard. It was hard.
Okay, actually. So they liked it.
Yeah,
they fucked with it.
No, their initial reaction was like this, like, you know, when people like something, but it's strange to them, foreign to them, they hate on it.
Right.
And that's when you know you're onto something.
Okay.
So if you're out there making something and you get dumped on or dunked on, that's when you're like, yo, I'm onto something here. Like, finally, like, this is getting a reaction. Because people wouldn't react if it was shit. They're only reacting.
They'd be nice about it. They'd be like,
nice about it.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Oh, I like the beat. They didn't say nothing about the vocals. The beat hard. It's like, okay, go. I guess I might fuck myself.
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
exactly.
Whatever you say, bro.
Yeah.
But then I hear you.
Yeah. So Eurostep, and that was also when I stepped into Universal Music. Shout out that guy. He was like, bro, I remember Eurostep.
Oh, word?
Yeah, because it wasn't like after Eurostep where I got talking to the labels. It was after Tooth and Talk for All My Haters. So after I get Eurostep, I get thousands of haters. Thousands, bro. I don't think Nori's ever seen someone hated on so hard.
Fuck.
And I'm being called Ikke Musikk, but I'm getting clout because now I'm going out in the city. I remember I'm like looking out a coffee shop and kids are filming me from outside the coffee shop.
Are you serious?
Yes, bro. They're like, can I talk Bilda and die? Ikke Musikk. And they're like trying to like catch me in a snap, you know, catch me in something. This is 3 years ago, right?
Fuck.
And to me, I'm like, this is fucking awesome, you know, because like, and my friends also who are with me, like my brother, they're like, bro, they're calling you not music. That's hard, you know, like that's so much better than Ikke Musikk. And I'm like, it is, man. And I just kept the idea in my head. I'm like, yo, what if I switch my name to Ikke Musikk? Because that's what everyone kind of wants me to be. And the thing is that to give up 10 years of like a music project.
Right, you've had that name for 10 years.
That's given up a lot, man. And like a lot of artists, I think they maybe fail out because they never listen to the room. They never keep their ears open in like a positive way. Like I wasn't taking the hate so negatively. At first I was like, whoa, like, but then I was like, this is actually pretty dope. You know, like people are recognizing me out. I'm getting I'm becoming notorious. Like they're like, he's the most hated on rapper in Norway. And then I had like, because I always make like hip hop beats, and my beats forever have been like my strength, right? As a musician is like, if you knew me from America, you knew I made the dopest beats in my high school or whatever, right? And shout out P&B Rock. Me and my brother,
rest in peace.
Me and my brother opened up for P&B Rock solely because his cousin thought we had dope beats.
You opened?
Yeah, bro. And it was
no way.
Dude, literally like it was a show for like 100 people we did. And it was at a place called the Miramar. And it was a guy named Scoot. And it was an interesting experience, right? You always like, but like I remember that's when you first realized like people could smoke weed backstage. Like, you know, like P&B Rock doing whatever he wants, right? But you're like, it was only because the beats were hard. He's like, yo, this song is hard, man, you know? And it wasn't because my vocals were very good back then. It was because the beat hit and like the 808s. I was always good at making beats. And I was a drummer. So I had that and like the piano and I had that.
You knew percussion.
I knew what to do, you know? And so I'm in the Ikke Musikk. I'm like, Ikke Musikk. I'm having this idea in my head about being Ikke Musikk. And I make this beat that is just super hard, and it's the beat for Tooth and Talk for All My Haters. And I remember I just had like a rough day or rough week where I was probably getting tons of hate, and I just freestyled the chorus like Tooth and Talk for all my haters. Ja are the mannen de ser etter, because I was also the dude they were looking at, you know. Hun ringer mig sen när jag ville snacka paper. So I was kind of like doing like a little bit English Norwegian thing. And I was like, yo, this is dope. And I would like show my friends back home and they're like, bro, this is dope. And like even my Norwegian friends are like, dude, you should like drop this somehow. But you know, I have no avenue to drop it, right? So I'm with my mom and I'm like, Mom, I got this dope Norwegian song. Thinking about switching my name to Ikke Musikk. Like, what do you think about it? And she's like, Alex, I think this would be really cool. And that was kind of like the thing where I was like, right then we came up with like maybe 50 ideas for the logo, and then I drew eventually the circle with the note and the cross, and we were like, this is it, you know, this is the logo. And I took the biggest risk ever, bro. I switched my profile handles and my profile photos to this black Ikke Musikk logo, like the Batman logo, but the not music logo. And that also like starts getting people talking like, Ikke Musikk now? Like, what's going on? And I remember I thought the song was so dope, but the first verse was open, or like a part of it was, and I like sent it to a lot of Norwegian rappers, seeing if they would want to hop on it. No one responded. No one responded. No one even saw it, probably. And then I was like, all right, whatever. I'll rap this part myself. First, ja, ikke norsk. Ikke norsk, yeah. Men jeg blir skekk som the Norsk boys. Gutta. You know, and I write this like part. And I remember walking the next day, I put it in the headphones. I'm like, ooh. You know, like, this will do. And I put it out on the internet, bro. It was the only song in my life I put no promo into. No marketing, because I was so scared that what happens if it bombs? Like, then my entire English fan base is cratered. You know, this whole thing has been an absolute mess, and I have to pretend like it almost never happened. Almost, you're thinking like worst case scenario. So you put it out on the internet.
So this was your first song ever in Norwegian?
First song ever in Norwegian, bro.
Okay.
And first day, 60-some streams. It's my boy Matthias's birthday. But my friend Akash, who I worked with, he's an Indian dude, brown boy, and he's like, dude, this Tusen Talk for all my haters song, man. This is dope. Can we like shoot a video? I was like, yeah, man. So we were like, okay, like let's shoot a video. So he like shoots a little quick video, drops me a clip, fired it off on the TikTok, go to my boy Matthias's birthday party. My phone dies. I remember trying to add these girls later in the night. And bro, I can't even add them. So I'm like, yo, why don't you add me? And then I'll text you back tomorrow, right? So I like go home, and then I don't plug my phone in because, you know, after like a fun night, you might forget to charge your phone. I wake up the next day, plug my phone in, like maybe go putz around, shower, do whatever. And by the time I turn it in, I remember, because these girls, bro, girls who had left me on red weeks ago, all of a sudden hit me back up, right? You're like, whoa, you know, like this is a good feeling, right? You're like, what's going on? You know, you're like, you're getting some boys hit you up that haven't hit you up. And then all of a sudden my friend Sandy, he goes, bro, you need to check TikTok. And I pull open TikTok, and that clip that I fired off without thinking about it before going to the bar literally was like going viral. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what do I do?
Shit.
And at that point, I was talking to my friend, and we're like, do nothing. So it just kept growing, just got bigger. Like, who is this Ikke Musikk guy? And like, you know, artists are starting to comment. And bro, like, not even artists, like Shendy, or I don't know if you have that term in Swedish. Like,
Shendis?
Like celebrity. People, they're like hating on me in the comments, bro. like it was like, dude, I was like triggering celebrities, bro, with this clip, because it was getting that viral, right? And I think everyone could see this is about to be a wave. I post like the next video. It goes crazier, you know, like everyone's like eating this up like madness, right? And it was after this video where the guy I sent the song to, Kevin Lauren, who's like a Norwegian rapper, who's like, he had like 2 massive hits that year, probably like 2 of the biggest Norwegian rap hits that you could think of. If you're in Norway, you would know him. And he does a dance to the video. Because it was also like his thing where his mom or dad, I think it was his dad, was Danish. So he was like, he always claimed to be Ikke Norsk as well.
Okay.
So he was like really fucking with the song. And he was like, he does this dance. And after he did that, his thing went viral as all can be. And all the other artists and celebrities started doing dances and things to the song.
Ah, damn.
And that was when it was just like madness, right? And I was
so
like,
now you had all of Norway, or well,
all of Norway. That was like all of Norway was on this Ikke Musikk thing, right? And then shout out to the kids, because they came up with the Somen Feast thing, that like they clipped the Somen Feast, right? And that became a viral trend. Like I tried to say Somen Fisk, but I didn't know it was Fisk. So I said Fisk. And that also made a better melody. So
before you moved to Norway, you've never you've never spoken Norwegian before.
Never.
Holy fuck.
So I learned from the streets. I always say this in my songs too, because when you move to Norway, you're faced with this tough task. I'm working this job, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, right? And then, do you want to take 3 hours of Norwegian courses every day, 4 days a week? Or do you want to get out there and try and meet some girls and like get some ass and like, you know, make some friends? You know what I'm saying?
That's what's
Make
up.
some beats, right? So bro, I was like, I can't be in this Norwegian course. So
you just went out.
So I just went out, bro, and I learned from the streets.
Shit.
And that's what I learned what skek was, right? And like these words that were like in the culture, but dude, you're never gonna learn that in a Norwegian course.
No, you wouldn't learn slang.
No,
you wouldn't learn a bow in the Swedish. No,
do you guys know what skek means?
What's skek?
It means drunk and high at the same time.
We don't have a word. Do we have a word for that? I guess crossfade.
Yeah. Oh, so that's why I said like I'm skek like a Norse boy. You know? because it was like an ode to the streets, you know? Like,
dude, your Norwegian sounds so like an American guy grew up in a Norwegian, like his family's Norwegian and they grew up exchanging somewhere. Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so I learned straight from the streets. To this day, I've actually passed my the Norse test without never taking a course, so I can become a citizen. I'm like citizen level speaker, despite never taking a course, and it's because, bro, my fans became so hypercritical, or maybe also the haters, right? They were
hypercritical
of my Norse. Like if I said one thing wrong, trust me, I heard about it, bro. Yeah. Like it was like I heard about it, right? It was like. It was kind of like a way to maybe knock me at first. But whoever cares about pronunciation in hip hop music? That was what I was always like, yo, like, have you heard USA rap? Like, have you heard mumble rap? Or
you just say whatever.
You can say whatever.
If it sounds hard, it sounds hard.
Dude, the Beatles used to say like nonsense, you know what I'm saying? And like rappers, they also just make sounds sometimes, like Cardi and these guys.
What's that one? The Cocteau Twins. Cocteau Twins don't even say words.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're getting millions.
And dude, no one ever calls them out for it.
Never.
But with Ikke Musikk, it was like...
So they held you...
They held me a high standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that, shout out them, because it actually made me learn Norwegian better. And that's how I learned. I learned it much better from that than texting girls or like at the bars maybe or things like that. But... so then, you know, of course, you listen to more Norwegian music as well, and that's like... Because you get in the scene, you start getting exposed to more artists, and you're like, okay, I should probably check out this dude's stuff, you know, and like, so that if I meet him, I'm not like a newbie, you know, or something. And so, yeah, I just never, that's why in the song Tusen Takk for all my haters, I say, skriven song fucking Norse kurs. Yeah.
That means write a song, fucking Norwegian chorus.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So
that's tough.
Because it's true. It's like I was like, I'll write a song. I gotta get out there in the culture, man, and like live a little bit, versus try to be stuck in these Norwegian courses.
Were you using Google Translate?
No. Well, I mean, of course I did. Like sometimes.
So when you were like writing lyrics in the beginning, at least. No?
People think I do, bro. They're like Google Translate rap or ChatGPT rap. Never, bro.
ChatGPT rap.
Never, bro. Because it's like, you couldn't ChatGPT that, you know, like, you couldn't Google Translate. It would be right if it was Google Translate, bro. Like,
damn, that's true.
Like, and I always tell them, like, most of my best music comes in like a burst. It's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, first... Torsk, you know, I'm hearing the rhymes myself. And like, if you ever try and ask one of these AIs to like rhyme in a language, they have no rhyming ability, no lyric ability at all. And a lot of my rhymes are not typisk Norsk. They wouldn't make sense to a Norwegian to rhyme those words. Like, I say drum instead of like for dream. No. And I don't pronounce it so great, right? So, but it rhymes better when the way I say it with the other word I say.
Okay.
So a lot of my bars are like really just unique that way. And I think that's why I hit like a little sweet spot, is they're like, they know I'm writing it. In a world of whatever is going on in music, writers, labels, ChatGPT, this guy's writing his own music.
It's true.
100%.
That doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen as often as people think.
Exactly.
100%. How many Scandinavian countries have you, I mean, obviously you're in Sweden, so we could take that up, but how many Scandinavian countries have you actually visited so far?
Just Norway and Sweden, bro.
Why
and
Sweden? Why? I mean,
shout out all my Swedish bros.
I'm so...
Can I take my glasses off?
So that means you got Swedish hoes too, huh?
Yeah, bro, of course.
You got Swedish hoes too.
Of course, shout out my Swedish hoes.
But not
awesome.
genuine, because you went to Uddevalla, you went to... Were you in Gothenburg?
I was in Gothenburg.
You were in Gothenburg,
yeah.
So you're doing like a Sweden tour. How so? Like,
well, first it's all because the fans swear. Like,
oh, so you got a big fan base here in Sweden.
I do. A growing fan base. I hope more will see this interview and follow Ikke Musikk.
Yeah, I was a fan.
You were an OG,
I am a fan.
Bro.
I am
bro,
a fan.
You were an OG for sure. But I made this song called Ikke Musikk. I don't know if you guys heard this.
I've heard it. Yep.
And this one I think was like an epiphany or groundbreaking to me, because when I dropped that song, I remember it was I made this beat and I loved the beat, and I showed my friends and everyone's like, dude, this beat's awesome, but I didn't know what to write on it. And one day I'm sitting in the studio and I was like, dude, I need to take a trip to Bergen. Like, I'm living in Norway, I gotta go Bergen, bro. Because Bergen is kind of like iconic. It's just like,
I don't know what is Bergen. Like,
Bergen is the second biggest city in Norway, and it's got all these beautiful fjords. So if you like to see fjords, which are these like mountains where they go down to the water, and Bergen is like the place, right?
Okay.
So I was like, man, I gotta go to Bergen. And it's also famous for this train ride. They call it the most beautiful train ride in the world, the Oslo to Bergen train ride, because you go through these in crazy nature, right? So the idea was like, I'm going to take a train ride to Bergen. And so I wrote this song, Ikke Musikk to Bergen. And then I was like, I'm going to rap in this dialect. The final bar. Like, instead of saying, Jeg kommer til Bergen twice, I'm going to say, Ikke Musikk to Bergen, which is how they say it in Bergen. Instead of, in Bokmål, Norwegian, you say, Jeg kommer til Bergen. But in Bergen, you say, Ikke Musikk to Bergen. They have this like thing in their voice.
They got a dialect.
And when I did that song, I remember so many people were so gassed that I was coming to Bergen that I was like, I got to plan this trip ASAP. I had nothing booked. And I was like, I hit up my boy Marius, who I met at the grocery store in Oslo back when I had like no friends. He was like, Ikke Musikk. He was like one of the first dudes that knew me as Ikke Musikk.
Oh, shit.
I was like, bro, you want to take like this?
Wait, he knew you as Ike?
He knew me as Ikke Musikk, bro.
Stop.
So no that's why he was like a day one. And eventually, you know, I just seen him at the grocery store, and then eventually I was like, bro, let's hang out. And then me and Marius, we booked this trip to Bergen. And I remember we hop on the train and we're going there. And like 10 minutes before, Marius is like, yo, so should we like take a video when you're like coming off the train? I was like, that's a good idea, man. He's like, you can say like, I'm landing Bergen. And he's like, do you think any fans will be there? And I'm like, maybe 2. Like, I don't know, like maybe, you know, like probably not, but we can just say I'm arriving, right? It'll be cool, you know, like it's just content. Dude, I remember, because this has just shocked us both, is like, dude, we step off the train, you just hear this screaming, dude, and it's just like a horde of fans, like literally as far, like running towards me full speed, like jumping into me. The first fans jumped to me like it was like a soccer, like celebration, goal celebration. It was like the team's coming in to jump. And I was just like shocked, because you're like, it's just crazy. Like all these fans and their parents, and like we're like, I'm talking from youth to older kids, were like there at the train station in Bergen waiting for me on arrival. And we caught that like moment. And like after that, it was like, Ikke Musikk, come to Stavanger. come till Trondheim, come till Tromsø, come till here, come to Göteborg, come to Stockholm. People were like, if we really call for him, he's gonna come to our city.
Oh,
and I took this trip to then Tromsø in the tip top in Norway. The same thing in Tromsø, but like times 3 or 4. Shout out to Tromsø. It was like, that's why I say in this song, Arktis Magi, was Ikke Musikk fans are like Beatlemania, because they were like a mob chasing me in the street, bro. Like, mob. And it was awesome, because Ikke Musikk fans are awesome. They're all nice, and they're like, if I tell them to get in the line so we can all do something, they'll do it. And it's like, but when you first see Ikke Musikk, it was a mob, bro. And they surround you, you know, it's kind of crazy, but that's kind of what all these guys in Sweden were seeing. They're like, come here, come to Stockholm, come to Göteborg. And that's the only reason I know, not the only reason, but it's a big reason why I know about Uddevalla. Because I have this diehard fan base in Uddevalla, Sweden, bro. Shout out to Uddevalla boys.
You just filmed a music video over there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. The Sweden mode, bro. At least some of the clips. I filmed some of them also here in the other cities, but like the main takes are in Uddevalla.
That's sick.
And it was their idea, so they came up with the idea as well. And but they have been begging on my live streams, come to Uddevalla, and I'm like, all right, I'm coming to Uddevalla. Got this week off. I'm going Sweden mode. I made the song 2 hours, bro. Like, I had like freestyled it before on a live stream, because sometimes I'll make music on the live and freestyle for the fans. So I had it like in my head, right? But I recorded it 2 hours before I go on the trip. Drop the video. I'm in Uddevalla. No one knows I'm pulling up. All the Uddevalla fans were like, is this AI? They literally think this shit is AI. And they thought that the friends who were sending it to the group chat were like AIing my video. And then they're like, no, he's actually in Uddevalla. And then the next day, Sweden mode was like going crazy, and like,
wait, so you filmed that snippet, Sweden mode, in Uddevalla, without telling anyone about it?
Without telling anybody I was going to Sweden mode, bro. Because I literally, it was like a day of thing, bro. The song was made that day, and I like posted on the internet that night.
Oh shit!
Which is like the real shit, man. Like,
that must have been crazy being someone from Uddevalla, seeing this shit, being a fan of you as well,
dude. They're Uddevalla showed out,
because Uddevalla not even known in Sweden. You know what the fuck do we know? They got cars.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Damn. But like, I know of it because of this cult fan base there. And dude, next time I go back to Uddevalla, it's gonna be like double time crazy. But that's usually what happens too. Is like, I go to a city, catch some maybe internet hype because of the reaction. Like, you know, the fans in Bergen, fans in Tromsø, fans in Uddevalla, fans in Göteborg, Stockholm. But then next time, bro, it's going to be 4 or 5 times bigger, because now they're like, I missed it. It was like a FOMO moment.
Shit.
So I'm just taking these trips because it's like, I want to give love back to the people who show me so much love.
I need to give you your flowers.
Yeah.
On everything, I really need to give you flowers for not only being a positive, just a positive person in the community. The youth.
Thank you, bro.
The youth don't have enough.
No.
You're there for them. You hype these kids up. I'll tell you something. When I was like a young kid, 13, 12, I mean, I don't know, just young in general.
Yeah.
Experiences in life are something I still carry to this day. Last year, around Christmas time, you were in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I see you on Instagram, a bunch of Teslas.
Yeah.
And you got this charity event for children.
Thank you, man.
With the toys.
Yeah.
And I think it was also when I started my account. And it was also when I started following you and seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I see you doing all of this, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy is actually a pretty
Dude,
cool
I did not think I would get that question.
No,
today, bro. Thank you, man.
No.
That's amazing.
That was the coolest shit ever. You were doing a charity event. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, children that didn't get toys for Christmas.
Yeah, it was essentially Children's Hospital. So maybe they got a few toys, but typically it was a known problem and that's how we found out about and started the charity. We've actually done it 6 years now. Is because we found out that these, you know, kids have to be Christmas during the holidays in the hospital, which is like, you know, a terrible think about Christmas. You don't want to be in the hospital, but these families also, because of the medical bills and maybe the expenses and they don't have the extra money for the toys, right? There's not a lot of joy in that room. If you think about yourself, like being, I remember the first holiday I was in Norway when I didn't go back for Christmas. I was low because I was like, Christmas is something you want to spend at your home or your grandma's house or, you know, auntie's house or something, and you want to like spend it there. And for these kids to have to spend in the hospital, it's a pretty low feeling. So they reached out and me and my brother, we set up like a toy drive, like where we collect toys. And the first year, just like we did 2 pickup trucks, which was exceeding our expectation of toys to take to the church, right, or to the hospital.
Okay, so people were in on it.
Yeah,
okay,
but
cool.
you know, we started off and it blew our minds. We're like, okay, we got two pickup trucks worth, you know, boxes of toys. That's actually really great. The next year we had so many. My brother called the fire department and asked if they could bring it in fire trucks. And this is when we learned that if we do something cool, the kids also freak out because it's like, it makes the kids' day at the hospital, right? So we're like, we bring the firefighters in. This is awesome. And then we did the police officers because it's like 2 kids. This is fucking awesome.
Like kids love policemen, bro.
Yeah, bro. And then we did Teslas the first time, where it was the Tesla community where we delivered them in like car Teslas.
Okay.
And that's when the Tesla thing was born. And we mostly got inspired by it because we saw this show called Long Way Up with Ewan McGregor, where they rode electric motorcycles to the...
I've seen something about
Okay, yeah. So we were like, let's do electric cars. Let's do Teslas. And then the next year we did school buses, like the school bus drivers. And then last year we did the Cybertrucks, which was crazy because, like, dude, that was when they're brand new and like you can't.
Yeah, that's when Cybertrucks were the thing online.
Dude, when you saw, like, trust me, bro, the hospital staff was coming out to take photos with the Cybertrucks.
Yup.
So we pulled up in the Cybertrucks, and now it's bigger than ever. And shout out to everybody who helps with the toy drive, and we're doing it again this year. And
do you have anything planned for this year? Or is this something you want to keep secret for the hospital?
We have a couple ideas.
Me
and my brother are very spontaneous people.
Okay.
If you can tell about Sweden mode, right? Like, we usually. We just pull it off in the time. You know what I'm saying? Is like, if you know me, I'm not the best planner ahead. Like, I have vision, but we kind of like, it also comes to the day, like the resources, who you can get. Can you get buses? Can you get Cybertrucks? Like, sometimes you can't get what you want. Like, you can't get the ice cream trucks. So you go to school buses, right?
So you've tried the ice cream trucks?
Yeah, you've tried a couple different routes, and you're just like, okay, we got to pivot here. Like, so we have nothing too crazy. We were so close to getting a helicopter and like doing the Santa dive, but the hospitals actually shut that one down because they need the choppers. They need the pads, and they can't have airspace violated and stuff.
Right.
so we were gonna do some jumping Santas. So, but dude, yeah, we love the toy drive and we love the kids. Our motto is #4the-kids, and that's what Ikke Musikk exists for real, man. Like, I think we were talking earlier about how no one makes true music for the kids, or like safe spaces for the kids.
It was safe space for the kids, yeah.
Yeah. And the song "Jeg flyttet til Norge," I don't know if you've heard, you've done that.
Jeg flyttet til Norge, hvordan går det? Jeg er ikke fra Florida. What the fuck?
To put some into shore.
I remember that.
So that song is like a real story, like a hard story of like me moving to Norway with 2 bags in my t-shirt. Like,
yeah.
But I made it a fun, like, little singer song, right? Took a positive look on it. And the kids, that's the one kids sing to me more than any song ever. They've got that one burned in their head. It's like 8-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old. Like, I've heard the craziest stuff where you can't even believe the kid knows the song. I'm like, this is crazy to me. And So that song really, I think, grabbed the heart of the kids, and that's the one that blew me up in Sweden and Denmark and like Netherlands and these surrounding countries, is because I didn't know it at the time, but it's got a very interesting, this is like, if you move to Norway, what is it like story. Like, oh, like I want to hear this song because I want to know what it's like to move to Norway, right? So, and I think for the kids too, they're also like, they understand it. It's simple enough. I'm not from Florida. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about drinking Pepsi Max Cola. You know.
What do you mean by I'm not from Florida? Where did that come from?
It came.
Or was that just like a spontaneous
No. This is an Ikke Musikk hack for everyone listening. It's called inclusivity.
Okay.
What is more inclusive? I am from Wisconsin, or I am not from Florida. I am not from Florida,
That's fair.
bro.
That's fair. You're not lying.
You're not lying. And that was the epiphany I had in my head. I was like, dude, this bar, if I switch this could be really something. And so I think like sometimes take the inverse of the bar. So if you're rapping a bar and it's like I'm grinding on the bus, like I'm taking the bus to my date, like flip it and be like, I'm not taking a Lambo to the date, or then you get everybody, bro. Like rather than just the people
that is true.
You
that
know,
is true.
like
that
rather
is true.
than just the people who take the bus to the date, you get everyone who's not pulling up in the Lambo to their date.
It's so much that I say I'm not taking the Toyota, or like I'm taking a Toyota to the date, right? Instead of saying that, I'm not taking the Lambo to the.
I didn't pull up in a Lambo.
I'm pulling up with a Yaris.
Yeah, swerve in the Volvo. I love that bar, by the way.
That's true. So actually, I kind of want to rewind back to what we were talking about a couple minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago, or whatnot, but. Yo, you said it so casually. You just said it like, yeah, I opened for P&B Rock, and because you like my beat. Hold on. Yeah. You opened for P&B Rock.
Yeah, I did.
Holy, like that
in front of like maybe 8,000 to 10,000 people, bro.
Fuck.
Which was like, dude, I was not prepared for that moment at all. Which like it just came because we did this 100-person show at the Miramar, and that's like a local underground gig spot in Milwaukee. And Scoot was there, the guy who like had the slot before P&B Rock, and he just knew that we had fire, and he was like, "Yo, I want you guys to like." Perform before P&B Rock. And I like, in the back of my mind, I was like, this has got to be bullshit. Like, no one gives you that.
So you're like...
But he was like, he came through at the end of the day. So shout out my man, he actually came through because a lot of people talk that in America, as in probably around the world, right? Like, yo, I can do that.
It's always, they like to talk.
Yeah.
People, especially in the music scene.
This
is why I never speak about future plans. This is why before we had this before the day of the interview, when did I hit you? I think I hit my homeboy doing the cameras over here.
Yeah.
I think I hit you up yesterday. At night, because I knew, okay, if I am to have an interview with you, I'm not telling anyone unless I put it in the air and jinx it.
Exactly.
Every plan I've ever spoken has gotten jinxed.
Yeah, man.
And music people love to talk.
They love to talk,
it always
bro.
gets jinxed.
But true part Ikke Musikk, I always say, like, believe in Ikke Musikk, believe on Ikke Musikk, because people say, like, are you actually coming to Stockholm? Right, I dropped Sweden Mode. Shout out all my Swedish bros. Sweden Mode, shout out all my Swedish hoes. Sweden Mode, swerve in the Volvo. Sweden Mode, I'm on my way to Stockholm. And everyone's like, are you actually coming to Stockholm? Like, it's like, did you not see the Bergen? Did you not see the Trump? Have you not like seen the history of Ikke Musikk? Like, and then I think now they are realizing I'm a man of my word, right? Like I'm dude, if I say something, I'm doing it, right? Like, I'm not like fake that way, you know? And it's the same thing with the P&B thing is like, my like, shout out like my high school friends, dude, they had to trudge their way through the P&B faithful to get a good view at us on the on the concert.
Just to get a view of
just so you know what I'm saying, right?
guys.
You know, I'm talking like those people don't want to give up their spots, and you probably don't want to take them, you know? And they, all of a sudden I remember looking in like a sea of like people I see, like my 4 best buddies, like standing there like in the middle of the crowd. And so you're just like, dude, this is, you know, I think it's important to have like, trust in your fan base. And people say this about my fans. My fans have said this to me, like, I trust in you. And it means like, they know I'm not selling out. They know, like, a lot of artists sell out, man, especially more in Scandinavia than in America. In America, they probably have like more of the, okay, you just ride your sound. Like, you just keep doing your sound, right? Like, your sound is fresh. Like, stick to your sound. But in Scandinavia, I see a lot more of, okay, you have like a couple good songs, you get plucked, now you're on these other producers' beats and it's pop. It's like the same kick, same song you've heard a million times. There's these other writers on it. And I know they do it for short-term money or fame, right? And it's like, it's not helping them at all because their fans lose the trust. 2, they get built up only to be knocked down because, you know, you're going to be what happens when the tide changes, right? Tide turns. And 3, you know down deep if you're staying true to yourself. And it's like, that's the thing that I want to live in. Like, bro, I'm an immigrant, you know? Like I want to be able to go to bed tonight and be like, dude, this was me. Like I never switched, you know, like all these songs, I made the beats, I did, like, you know, I wrote the lyrics, like I'd never like sold out, you know, and like I literally after my first song, I could have, man. You want to know who they told me they thought I could be like?
Who?
Lil Nas X. Bro, where do you think Ikke Musikk would be right now? If I had been like Lil Nas X.
Yo, I'm thinking about some other shit. When you said Lil Nas X, I was thinking about the whole
devil shit, bro.
Yeah,
dude,
I was thinking about that.
I would be hated, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Dude, Lil Nas X is a joke.
He's a joke, the glasses off too because he was being dead ass.
I would be dead ass. He's a joke, bro. I'll say that.
Where is he now? He had the internet.
Knows,
he
man?
had the internet in
walking the streets in his boxers. I don't know.
You remember that?
That's where he is, man. And like nobody respect Lil Nas X, you know. And like, not only that, but he poisoned the kids, you know. Like he like did everything I'm opposite for, and that's who they thought they wanted me to be, bro.
No,
I swear to God, man.
No.
And you know, in the back of my head, you're like, coming from the future, like the Juice, you know, like all these like Kanye, like these real artists,
when Kanye
the
went,
Beatles, yeah, and you're like, well, I ain't signing that contract, you know?
Right, because these guys,
Lil Nas X,
because this guy's the Juice world, the Kanyes, the anyone really. I mean, Jesus, anyone that actually lived and breathed. Let's take Kendrick,
man.
Let's take Drake as well. Let's take The Weeknd. Let's take anyone that's ever had anything to do with genuine hip hop.
Yeah,
they did it for a reason.
Yeah,
they did it for not only maybe they had a money incentive. I mean, Drake is
that's
relevant.
why Drake got turned on, is because eventually he lost touch with his identity.
Yes,
that's why, and like people started seeing him be something he wasn't. Right?
Exactly,
and like. That's not so cool to Americans or to people around the world. Like, dude, people really want you to be the person you are. And like, that is what I love about Norwegians is they value authenticity and humility. Those two things are like what they love, and they can smell it. And it's like, they know that those are like my two of the things that I am, right? Like I am what I am, and that is what I am, right? And it's like, they know it and they gravitate towards it because they've seen this switch up. They've seen this they don't have the real like people who are fearless, maybe like America does, or willing to stand up to the system or whatever, right? So they know what they want, and they want the authenticity. They want it.
And I've enjoyed that about them.
Yeah.
Every American that I've had come to Sweden, every American friend, anyone, because I know a lot of Americans, producers, rappers, whatever.
Yeah.
They come here, they pay a visit, they speak to the people, and they're like, oh my God, everyone's so genuine.
Yeah.
Everyone's so humble.
Yeah.
Everyone's so in touch with what's going on. And it's like, you're telling me these things, I get some newfound like information, but in my world, in a European's world, because I've lived in Europe my whole life, almost my whole life,
and around Europe,
it's been everyone focuses like it's a big community. Yeah, it's one like huge. Maybe you've seen the memes as well that Danish people hate Swedish people and vice versa.
Dude, I'm getting hate for like doing Sweden mode, you know what I'm saying? People call me a traitor and shit, you know?
You've done that.
And other people are like, yo, he's stopping the Norwegian Swedish beef, you know? So,
and at the same point, it's like Italians hate Greeks or Greeks hate Turkish. But at the end of the day, since we're all European, we all share so much love for each other.
For sure,
definitely. Bro. But then in America, on the other hand, it's very every man for himself.
Absolutely.
It's very, you gotta fight for yourself, fend for yourself.
You feel that in the big cities in Europe, though. Like, I would say that's the biggest difference between the small cities I've traveled to in Europe versus the big cities. Like the small cities,
in the sense of they hate, like there's like beef with the capital or whatever. Or
no, I would say more so they have more community, and like in the big cities, it's a little bit every man for himself. Like I'm sure you feel that more in Stockholm. Like I definitely feel that more in Oslo versus like when I was in Tromsø. I was like, dude, I was in Tromsø and this guy was telling me he could take me on his fishing boat. You know, this guy was telling me where, like, you know, all these like community things, right?
So it was that hospitality.
Yeah. And then I guess you get back to Oslo and you're just like, you know, do what you gotta do. You do you, bro. Like I do me, right? And that's really how people be. You know, they really be like all on their own thing sometimes. And it's like, that's why I think it's important to cultivate a real fan base, because if you can feel like you're not alone in that, then as an artist, you feel much better. And like think about SBE. They weren't like if those guys were on their own, you know, it would have been worse than it was. And it wasn't even that pretty, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, you think about that for a lot of groups, like Future came up with Metro, you know, like Esco, you know, Gucci Mane had like Thug, Migos, all Future, all these guys like under his wing in Atlanta hip hop. And it was like, they could almost feel like they weren't like just
pretty difficult doing it individually, for sure. Well, community means a lot.
Yeah, and dude, my community was more so on the internet, bro. My fans that found me on TikTok, my fans that really championed me in those streets. And I always say that, like, I don't have family or like in Norway or in Europe. I have, my family is like my fans, you know, my friends, you know, it's like, and they're like, and they say that, they're like, we love you, Ikke Musikk. You can come spend Christmas with me.
They say that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll show you a real Yule board, you know.
Oh, that's real. Yeah. Oh, have you ever experienced a real Yule board?
I have.
Okay, cool. Honestly, we spoke a little bit about the bait off camera.
Yeah.
Right. But
I got a story for you boys.
What's the lore with the Babe?
Oh, bro!
What is it with Babe that's got you? You've got merch inspired of Babe.
Yeah,
you've been rocking Babe in your videos. Like, you love,
bro.
Babe.
Yeah. First, I'll tell the story, and then I got a surprise for you guys. But the kids in Uddevalla asked this too. What's the story behind the Babe? And my brother and I, we went to Japan. Just like the song says, we're in Shibuya. And
I remember that one.
We're Landergardermoen, and we'll get back to the rest of the story of that song. But we're shopping, and Japan's not the best for like touristy things to take home. This is just, if you go there, like, they don't sell a lot of art. They sell like a lot of mini sculptures, and you're like, I don't want that, right? So it was hard to find something to like take home from Japan, really. At least that's how we felt. And we go into the Babe store, and it's like Lil Uzi, Central C, like all this hip hop music. You're like, this is a vibe. Like, and then you check the prices. You're like, this is designer for non-designer prices. This is like for a guy like me and my brother, like this is our jackpot, bro.
Wait, what year was this?
This is 2023 or 2024, I think. Last summer, May. So Bape Ikke Musikk is like a year and a half old. Bape Gang. And so at that store, bro, I didn't know it at the time, but they sell exclusive items that never go to the market. And I only found that out because a massive Bape fan wrote me that my yellow hoodie was exclusive. That it was like a item that was tried, but they never maybe launched it. And it was just, they were seeing if someone bought it. And me and my brother liked it because of the color. So me and my brother went to the Bape store 2 back-to-back days. It was so fun. It was just dope to be in the Bape store. And we wish we had bought more Bape. But the real lore behind the story is when I got back to Oslo, when I landed Gardermoen, bro. I come off the plane. I'm tired as fuck. And what do I see? I see dogs, policemen, and video cameras. And bro, I literally, coming off the plane from Oslo, I get arrested instantly. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? And I'm so like tired from the trip because it's like a long trip that
it's like 12 hours.
Your brain's not even really working.
No.
So you're just kind of like going through it. And like, you're like, this is like, at first it's like the dogs are on you. And then it's the police guys. And then I realized, I'm like talking to the police guy and I look to my right. I'm like, wait, am I on camera right now? And they're like, yeah, but we're blurring your face. And I'm like, bro, I'm like so recognizable from without my face. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, you know? And dude, so to get this. So I'm like, what is going on, right? But you quickly realize you're like, this is serious, right? You're like, I'm walking through the like, Gardermoen airport, bro, with dogs, cops, cameras, and Norwegians. They are like, they don't see action like this ever, right? So, dude, they're filming the shit out of me, and I'm in my yellow Bape, right? I'm in my yellow Bape hoodie, right?
So you're recognizable as well.
In my Bape from Shibuya, and I'm not only like recognizable, I'm already known as Ikke Musikk at this point. And Gardermoen, the airport's already a place where you're going to get a lot of photos and fans, anyways, because it's just people go through there, right? So like, it's like double hitting, right? And it's me and this other dude, and one other dude, we're getting walked like by the cops, paraded, bro. Like some like, you know, because it's on TV, it's like a big thing, right? For this TV show. And they're like parading us through, they're acting all tough. They search every single thing in my bag. And I was like, dude, I'm not stupid, you know, like I have nothing to hide. And I knew that. I was like, did they plant some shit? Like, you know, you're like, what is going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? Dude,
they were trying to clip farm.
Bro, they're pulling out my socks. They're pulling out my fucking everything, dude. The coffee bag you brought home, you know, they looking in that, you know, like, I'm like, yo, be careful with my souvenirs. That's glass. That's like, you know, it's something special, right?
Shit.
And dude, no one tells you this, but when you get searched at the airport, hardcore, the only thing you're holding is your cash, because it's like a rule that maybe the police officer stole the cash in the past. So you have to like, you're like holding your cash, right?
Wait, were you physically holding your cash?
Physically searched with my cash in my hands, bro.
What the fuck?
In my Bape from Shibuya. and bro, literally the guy next to me who was sitting on the flight, they eventually bring over a suitcase and they're like, what's the code? And he's like, I don't know it. What's the code? And I'm like, you know, well, they're going through all my shit right next to him. So we're like standing like right next to each other, TV.
Was this like a random guy or?
Random dude that I just happened to sit next to on the flight.
Okay.
And bro, they pop open his bag and there's a bunch of pills and drugs. And he was smuggling drugs and I just got caught in the wave. You know what I'm saying? But that's when the Bape lore became for Ikke Musikk, like his yellow Bape, right? Like, and like, I was like, one, I love the store. I love Bape in general, right? I was like, this is dope. But that's when a little bit of lore happened. And then my fans really started like I want to shout out Pavel, and I want to shout out a lot of like other fans who animated the scenes where they put like Ikke Musikk Bape characters.
I remember.
And Bape kind of became Ikke Musik's sidekick.
On the airplane as well.
Yes, bro, on the airplane. And like Bape was kind of like Ikke Musik's sidekick. Like Bape can be anybody. It can be anybody can be my sidekick at the end of the day, like a Robin. And so then the A Coming to Bergen happens. I do it with Bape. It's kind of like a part of the scene where I'm wearing my yellow Bape. I'm wearing my blue jacket. You know, I arrive with the two characters arrive into town together. And it's like, rather than one guy, it's two, right? It's Ikke Musikk and Bape. And then I come back from A Coming to Bergen, and there's like this Universal Music press conference for this other artist. And I get invited to. And I show up, man, and instantly I noticed like all the cameras are pointed at my spot where I'm supposed to sit. So I'm like, what's going on here? But I knew I was going to get clipped, right? They wanted to catch me in like a viral moment, right? So I'm in my pink Bape at this point. And I'd given away Bape. So I started giving away Bape as like giveaways for the fans, which was like unheard of in Norway. They're like, yo, he's giving away a Bape hoodie. This is dope. Yeah. And so I started getting all this Bape hype. And dude, you search the internet, bro, all the Norwegian rappers hopped on my wave. They were like, I could find photos of all these guys wearing Bape or flexing Bape, and friends would send this to me. People in the industry would be like, yo, you started a trend, bro. Like Bape gang, like you're, you know, and like, and biggest Baper, you know, Bape star, right? And like, the craziest thing was at that press conference, two fans came up and presented me the first Ikke Musikk Bape, which is when I saw that it was like a remix Bape.
So you weren't even behind the
I wasn't behind it, bro.
Someone
just like Ikke Musikk, just like the anime, just like it all, bro. The fans have done it all. They continue to do it all, bro.
Shit.
Yeah, man. So shout out them. They came, and I knew it right there. I was like, this is so dope. Because I thought it was fire. Like, I was like, that's insta fire. You know what I'm saying? And so did the other artist. He was like, bro, that is fire. You know, and like, so then, you know, the Bape is really kind of taken off, and like Bape gang, and dude, kids wear Bape when they meet me. It's like, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I'm guilty of this.
And bro, I even got something for you, my guy. I got something for you, my G. Got two Bape.
Oh, stop playing. Oh, stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing.
I got two Ikke Musikk.
Stop playing. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing.
I got one large. I got one small. So
what do you use? You want the large? I'll take the small. I'll take the small.
I think this is it, bro. This is for you, my G.
Oh, no.
And this is for you, my bro.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes, bro. 100%,
yo, man,
bro.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Good to see my brother.
Yeah, you know what? Rep that with pride, my guys. Bape gang. You guys are Bape gang now, my guys.
This might be unsubstantial, like compared to what you got. Genuinely, but I got a couple stickers right here for you.
It's not much. Thank you, my man.
It's not much. It's a couple of my.
This is the first Swedish media team that repped me. You know, shout out Internet Gatekeeper.
Oh, are you serious?
Shout out Internet Gatekeeper.
Oh shit!
Yeah, bro. So you guys can be first. You guys can be part of Bape gang. You know what I'm saying?
I bought my girlfriend a Bape hoodie.
Okay, which one did you get her?
For a Christmas present. It was a camo Bape hoodie, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking of wearing it for this interview.
That would have been sick, man.
I had uni in the morning, so I had to go to uni, and I wore this.
Yeah, of course. Uni. Yeah.
But.
Dude, I've been on dates and like, I've been in Ikke Musikk mode, and then the girls are like, wait, can you wear something not Bape?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like, do you have any other clothes, Ikke Musikk? I'm like, no, we're going out. We're going out in the Bape, babe.
Yo, this is sick. No,
yeah,
genuinely.
Bro. Yeah, so that's a nice little surprise for you guys.
This is the first time I've had a gift from a interviewee.
Awesome,
honestly.
man.
And the fact that you have one, you didn't even know. Did you know? But
I thought maybe it would be two guys here, so I just.
So he didn't even know. He instinctively brought two.
I brought two, man.
Meant to be.
Meant to be.
Thank
As they always say, man. That's meant to be.
No, genuine. I
And
need
dude, that's kind of like the Ikke Musikk story, man.
Thank
It's
you so
meant to
much
be,
for that.
you know? Like, a lot of this has just happened, as you guys have heard throughout this interview, like, around me, through fans creating it.
You
know,
really are.
It's kind of meant to be, bro.
Someone for not even someone like you are the people. Ikke, we've been here for a little bit. We've spoken about everything, your backstory, the come up, the general mystery, the mystique around you. All of this has been solved. One last thing I want to ask for you. Give us a farewell message. Give us something you want the people to hear before the interview's done.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Internet Gatekeeper. Thank you, my friend, for being here. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all my fans watching this and all the hopefully new fans around the world watching this. My final message I would say is choose positive, because in life there's tough times. I've been through it. And, you know, it's a mindset. You gotta choose the light, because it's like, it's not just be positive. It's like, that's tough, but you gotta mentally choose that. You gotta decide that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take that road. I'm gonna take that hate and I'm gonna turn it into a strength. I'm gonna take that, you know, negativity. I'm gonna flip it on them. And if I can do it, you can do it. So, talk for your dog. Tusen talk to Ikke. We're out.